this it becomes more thin. So this A increases, keeping C constant. So as the shear modulus of the matrix increases, your A increases, this increases, but this remains. So critical size of that spheroid becomes more thin. As the stiffness of the matrix increases, the nucleus tends to become thinner to reduce the distortion energy. So that's the So if it is an incoherent precipitate and strain energy is important, then it is more like a disc shape. If your delta now is very small, if your misfit strain is small, then delta GS part is not coming into picture, then only this, then it will become sphere. But in most of the cases it is not the case. There will be some volumetric misfit, and to make it, well, to make the strain energy lower, it will be of disc shape. So that is comment for coherent, incoherent precipitate. Now if it is coherent precipitate, so strain is important. In that case, we talked about for incoherent. What about for coherent? If it is, however, if the matrix is elastically isotropic, and both precipitate and matrix have equal elastic moduli. So mu one is matrix is isotropic, which usually is not the case, and your shear modulus of matrix equal to modulus of your embryo or precipitate. In that case, the strain energy that is given by 6 mu delta square multiplied by volume. So this part is this one. So mu is same for matrix and precipitate. So it is the matrix shear modulus then. And what is this delta? This delta is, in case of coherent precipitate, that this delta is the lattice misfit. So beta or alpha elastic, whatever either of the phases, it is the interfacial whatever. So between two phases, alpha and beta, this is the lattice misfit given by delta, the lattice parameter misfit. So this strain energy is proportional to delta square, like for incoherent precipitate. Here also it is proportional to delta square, and also the strain energy is always proportional to V. Bigger size particle will have higher strain energy. If this is the case, then your delta GS is independent of the shape of the precipitate. Delta GS, the strain energy does not depend on shape. In when the matrix is isotropic and your elastic modulus of matrix in all directions are same as elastic modulus of the precipitate. In that case, strain energy does not depend on shape. Any shape, strain energy remains the same. Only thing then dictating the shape is interfacial energy, and the shape will be spherical. So in that case, shape will be spherical. But if your precipitate elastic modulus is different than matrix elastic modulus, in that case, if precipitate is hard, then it will be sphere. But if precipitate is soft, then it will be a disc shape. If precipitates one of the direction in precipitate, the shear modulus or the elastic modulus in any one of the direction, if it is lower than the matrix, then it will be a disc shaped. And usually matrix, these are for matrix when matrix is isotropic, but if matrix is anisotropic and strain energy is important, then coherent precipitate will be of disc shape. And usually what you will find that in many of the cubic crystals, different directions have different elastic modulus. So 100 directions are usually softer and 111 directions are hard. Meaning stiffness is more along 111 direction, stiffness is low along 100 directions. Then the precipitate that will form will be of disc shape, and the broad face will be parallel to 100, so that the broad face it will try to maintain the coherence, and there will be incoherent, these edges will be incoherent. Okay, so any strain